So, Doug, could you tell us what your concerns are for this stretch of the river and why you're here today, checking things out with us?
Well, I'm here today because Rick Eichstadt invited me out.
Uh-oh.
That's a nice day.
And so I'm standing in the company of actual experts. You know, what I know about is the law and the policy with respect to the Shoreline Management Act here. And so I guess I would basically be here to lend that perspective, but as a wildlife biologist who spent a lot of time around fish biologists and river scientists, you know, I have some perspectives there too. So that's why I came out.
So mainly the concern in this part of the river is the dock that we're concerned about is behind us, is the impact of these docks on redband trout in this area.
Well, I know that there'll be a lot of focus on that for a lot of folks because redband are a native Oncorhynchus. It's as significant genetically as any anadromous fish, but the resident fish don't tend to swing as big a cultural bat as the anadromous fish in the Northwest, even though they're just as significant in terms of when you have a population that still survives like this. For decades, the professional fish biologists with the agencies and I and most other anglers assumed that the trout in the Spokane River we knew they were wild primarily, but we thought they were just sort of a mishmash of hatchery fish. We had kind of assumed that they would be coast-type rainbow mixed in with whatever was here before. But when WDFW did the genetic studies over the past 5-6 years, lo and behold, this is a largely intact redband trout population with virtually no detectable introgression from other strains of hatchery, you know, more generic hatchery rainbow. So, but I guess my bigger concern would be, I mean, the trout are certainly important to me personally and for future generations, but I'm equally concerned with these riparian forests along the river and their neotropical songbirds and their other uses, and we need to be out here now. Of course, the birds are getting ready to marshal to migrate south, and some have already left, like our white-throated swifts are already gone. A lot of the swallows are gone.
Notice that.
They've moved into the uplands. You know, you'll see them concentrated, you know, along utility lines and stuff now. But earlier this spring, of course, they're all over the river. And at this time of day, you'd see them eating the midge hatches primarily, but also later in the day, when you see the caddis hatches this time of year in the late evening, they'll be being hawked by gulls and blackbirds, as well as a lot of the insectivores.
I've been asked by Rick to come on over from the Seattle area and evaluate the potential environmental impact associated with the placement of docks on the river along through this area. And as a fisheries scientist, my interest is in both what docks impacts will have on the river and on the aquatic life within the river, but on the total character of the river itself, including the riparian zone associated, because it all ties together. My involvement will be to evaluate where the docks are going to be located and what's happening in the river system itself now and what impact that might have on the future life or future quality of life in terms of aquatic life within the system and how that impacts the rest of the wildlife in this region. So my intent is to review the area, look at it carefully today, and then look at the documentation that I can find that's available in terms of research on this particular segment of the river and this segment in terms of the fish population. Redband trout, in Benke's book of trout of the western United States aren't clearly identified because at the time that book was published in about 1990, they still didn't have the latest DNA assessments that have been done recently on the genetics of these particular fish in the Spokane River. So it's not unusual, as you've just heard from Tim, that this is a unique population of fish. And we're finding that throughout the country, that we have these unique little populations of salmonids that are unique in that they've managed to maintain their genetics And so anything that happens in this river system is something that will be of importance to that process, as well as I've indicated. It's not just the fish; it's the entire ecosystem here that's of importance. And when you have development on a riverbank, then you're interfering with or you're impacting that unless it's done properly. So that's my job, and that's what I'm really delighted to be here and help with.
Wayne, we're actually standing right next to the bridge on the Centennial Trail over the Spokane River, which is in this area not far from where the dock is. And one of the things it allows us to do is actually look down on the river, and because the water's so clear and low, we can actually tell something by the cobbles. And you were looking just preliminary for evidence of spawning habitat and also the kind of habitat I think that young fish need, correct?
That's correct, and I was just looking at the structure of the rock and the cobble that's in the river system itself, and evaluating that in terms of, as you say, the spawning or rearing habitat. And what I'm seeing is a large cobble in the very clear water, and it's beautiful to see the clarity. The importance is also not only the clarity, but also the water chemistry. But with that size of material in there, you have two distinct situations. You have currents and eddies that small fish can hang in, but you also have an ideal environment for the aquatic life that's critical in terms of the very small insect population that will be developing on those rocks and be available as a source of food for those juveniles in this reach. So the two go hand in hand in terms of providing the hydraulic habitat, but it also, the large cobble provides a source of food for those critters.
The dock, you might have seen a smallmouth or two.
Nope.
Nope.
No, just a bobcat.
Okay.
If I put on the dock for you to retrieve.
We'll let the owner.
Fish did jump when I was getting the canoe in, but I haven't seen any since.
So we were out today with Wayne Daly, who's a fish biologist who we've retained to help us with the challenges to the development of the 30 docks here at Coyote Rock Estates. We took Wayne out in the canoe to take a look at some of the habitat, look for macroinvertebrates, which are the bugs that the fish eat. And so Wayne's going to help us with the cases as they move forward.